I've earned 30 plus certifications, and I'm here to guide you to success on your exam. Welcome to the Ultimate MD-102 Exam Masterclass. Are you ready to crack the MD-102 exam in one go? You're in the right place. In this session, we'll arm you with powerful insights and hand-picked questions that can make all the difference in your exam performance. We've scanned the web using intelligent crawlers to gather the most critical and high-impact questions, all compiled into one powerful PDF resource. You can download it from the link in the description. Not only will we explore these must-practice questions, but we'll also share real exam experiences and pro tips to give you that competitive edge. Let's dive into the key questions that could shape your success. Question 1. Your company uses Microsoft Intune. More than 500 Android and iOS devices are enrolled in the Intune tenant. You plan to deploy new Intune policies. Different policies will apply depending on the version of Android or iOS installed on the device. You need to ensure that the policies can target the devices based on their version of Android or iOS. What should you configure first? A. Groups that have dynamic membership rules in Azure AD. B. Device categories in Intune. C. Corporate device identifiers in Intune. D. Device settings in Azure AD. Correct answer A. Groups that have dynamic membership rules in Azure AD. Explanation. Dynamic membership rules automatically group devices by attributes like OS version. This lets you target Intune policies precisely based on Android or iOS versions. Question 2. You use Microsoft Defender for Endpoint to protect computers that run Windows 10. You need to assess the differences between the configuration of Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and the Microsoft recommended configuration baseline. Which tool should you use? A. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint Power BI app. B. Microsoft Secure Score. C. Endpoint Analytics. D. Microsoft 365 Defender Portal. Correct answer B. Microsoft Secure Score. Explanation. Microsoft Secure Score measures your current security posture against best practices. It highlights configuration gaps compared to Microsoft's recommended baseline. Question 3. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 1,000 Windows 11 devices. All the devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You plan to integrate Intune with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. You need to establish a service-to-service connection between Intune and Defender for Endpoint. Which settings should you configure in the Microsoft Intune Admin Center? A. Premium add-ons. B. Connectors and token. C. Tenant enrollment. D. Microsoft Tunnel Gateway. Correct answer B. Connectors and token. Explanation. Connectors and token settings allow Intune to securely integrate with Defender for Endpoint. This enables sharing of security and compliance data between the two services. Question 4. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You plan to deploy two apps named App 1 and App 2 to all Windows devices. App 1 must be installed before App 2. From the Intune Admin Center, you create and deploy two Windows App Win32 apps. You need to ensure that App 1 is installed before App 2 on every device. What should you configure? A. The App 1 deployment configurations. B. A dynamic device group. C. A detection rule. D. The App 2 deployment configurations. Correct answer D. The App 2 deployment configurations. Explanation. In App 2's deployment settings, you can set App 1 as a dependency. This ensures App 1 installs first before App 2 is deployed. Question 5. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription and 100 unmanaged iPad devices. You need to deploy a specific iOS update to the devices. Users must be prevented from manually installing a more recent version of iOS. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. A. Create a device configuration profile. B. Enroll the devices in Microsoft Intune by using the Intune Company portal. C. Create a compliance policy. D. Create an iOS app provisioning profile. E. Enroll the devices in Microsoft Intune by using Apple Business Manager. Correct answer A and E. Create a device configuration profile. Enroll the devices in Microsoft Intune by using Apple Business Manager. Explanation. Apple Business Manager enrollment enables supervised iOS update management. A device configuration profile lets you enforce and lock the desired iOS version. Question 6. You have a hybrid deployment of Azure AD that contains 50 Windows 10 devices. All the devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You discover that group policy settings override the settings configured in Microsoft Intune policies. You need to ensure that the settings configured in Microsoft Intune override the group policy settings. What should you do? A. From Group Policy Management Editor, configure the computer configuration settings in the default domain policy. B. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a custom device profile. C. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create an administrative templates device profile. D. From Group Policy Management Editor, configure the user configuration settings in the default domain policy. Correct answer B. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a custom device profile. Explanation. A custom device profile in Intune can set policies to take precedence over group policy. This ensures Intune settings remain in effect even if group policy exists. Question 7. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You need to ensure that the startup performance of managed Windows 11 devices is captured and available for review in the Intune Admin Center. What should you configure? A. The Azure Monitor Agent. B. A device compliance policy. C. A conditional access policy. D. An Intune data collection policy. Correct answer D. An Intune data collection policy. Explanation. An Intune data collection policy enables gathering of performance metrics. This includes startup times for review within the Admin Center. Question 8. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription. All devices run Windows 10. You need to prevent users from enrolling the devices in the Windows Insider program. What two configurations should you perform from the Microsoft Intune Admin Center? Each correct answer is a complete solution. A. A device restrictions device configuration profile. B. An app configuration policy. C. A Windows 10 and later security baseline. D. A custom device configuration profile. E. A Windows 10 and later update ring. Correct answer D and E. A custom device configuration profile. A Windows 10 and later update ring. Explanation. A custom device configuration profile lets you block insider program settings. An update ring can control and lock the Windows version to prevent insider builds. Question 9. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 100 Windows 10 devices enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You plan to use Endpoint analytics. You need to create baseline metrics. What should you do first? A. Modify the baseline regression threshold. B. Onboard 10 devices to Endpoint analytics. C. Create a log analytics workspace. D. Create an Azure Monitor workbook. Correct answer B. Onboard 10 devices to Endpoint Analytics. Explanation. Endpoint Analytics requires a minimum of 10 onboard devices to create baselines. This ensures meaningful performance and compliance comparisons. Question 10. You install a feature update on a computer that runs Windows 10. How many days do you have to roll back the update? A. 5. B. 10. C. 14. D. 30. Correct answer B. 10. Explanation. Windows 10 allows a rollback of feature updates within 10 days by default. After that, the old version files are removed from the system. Question 11. You have a Microsoft Azure subscription that contains an Azure Log Analytics workspace. You deploy a new computer named Computer 1 that runs Windows 10. Computer 1 is in a workgroup. You need to ensure that you can use Log Analytics to query events from Computer 1. What should you do on Computer 1? A. Join Azure AD. B. Configure Windows Defender Firewall. C. Create an event subscription. D. Install the Azure Monitor Agent. Correct answer A. Join Azure AD. Explanation. Joining Azure AD enables the device to authenticate and report to Log Analytics. This is needed for event querying and monitoring. Question 12. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that contains 500 Android Enterprise devices. All the devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to deliver bookmarks to the Chrome browser on the devices. What should you create? A. A compliance policy. B. A configuration profile. C. An app protection policy. D. An app configuration policy. Correct answer D. An app configuration policy. Explanation. An app configuration policy can deliver custom settings like bookmarks to apps. This lets you pre-configure Chrome for all managed Android devices. Question 13. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription and 100 computers that run Windows 10. You need to deploy Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019 to the computers by using Microsoft Office Deployment Tool, ODT. What should you use to create a customization file for ODT? A. The Microsoft 365 Admin Center. B. The Microsoft Intune Admin Center. C. The Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. D. The Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center. Correct answer D. The Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center. Explanation. The Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center provides the Office customization tool. This tool creates the XML configuration file for ODT deployments. Question 14. You are replacing 100 company-owned Windows devices. You need to use the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, MDT, to securely wipe and decommission the devices. The solution must meet the following requirements. Back up the user state. Minimize administrative effort. Which task sequence template should you use? A. Standard Client Task Sequence. B. Standard Client Replace Task Sequence. C. Lighttouch OEM Task Sequence. D. Sysprep and Capture. Correct answer B. Standard Client Replace Task Sequence. Explanation. The Standard Client Replace Task Sequence backs up user data and wipes the device. It's designed for replacing old hardware with minimal manual steps. Question 15. Your network contains an Active Directory domain named contoso.com. The domain contains two computers named Computer 1 and Computer 2 that run Windows 10. On Computer 1, you need to run the invoke command let to execute several PowerShell commands on Computer 2. What should you do first? A. On Computer 2, run the enable ps remoting command. B. On computer 2, add computer 1 to the remote management users group. C. From Active Directory, configure the trusted for delegation setting for the computer account of computer 2. D. On computer 1, run the new PS session complete. Correct answer A. On computer 2, run the Enable PS remoting complete. Explanation. Enable PS remoting sets up WinRM to allow remote PowerShell commands. Without it, remote command execution between the computers won't work. Question 16. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You plan to deploy two apps named App 1 and App 2 to all Windows devices. App 1 must be installed before App 2. From the Intune Admin Center, you create and deploy two Windows App, Win32 apps. You need to ensure that App 1 is installed before App 2 on every device. What should you configure? A. The App 1 deployment configurations. B. A dynamic device group. C. A detection rule. D. The App 2 deployment configurations. Correct answer D. The App 2 deployment configurations. Explanation. Set App 1 as a dependency in App 2's deployment configuration. This forces App 1 to install first on all targeted devices. Question 17. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 100 iOS devices enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to deploy a custom line of business (LB) app to the devices by using Intune. Which extension should you select for the app package file? A. .Intune Mac. B. .IPA. C. .APK. D. .AX. Correct answer B. .IPA. Explanation. iOS LB apps use the .IPA file extension for installation. This format is required for deployment through Intune to Apple devices. Question 18. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription. You have 10 computers that run Windows 10 and are enrolled in Mobile Device Management, MDM. You need to deploy the Microsoft 365 apps for Enterprise Suite to all the computers. What should you do? A. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a Windows 10 device profile. B. From Azure AD, add an app registration. C. From Azure AD, add an enterprise application. D. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, add an app. Correct answer D. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, add an app. Explanation. Adding the Microsoft 365 Apps Suite as an app in Intune allows deployment. It's the direct way to push Office apps to MDM-managed Windows devices. Question 19. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You have a Windows 11 device named Device 1 that is enrolled in Intune. Device 1 has been offline for 30 days. You need to remove Device 1 from Intune immediately. The solution must ensure that if the device checks in again, any apps and data provisioned by Intune are removed. User-installed apps, personal data, and OEM-installed apps must be retained. What should you use? A. A delete action. B. A retire action. C. A fresh start action. D. An autopilot reset action. Correct answer A. A delete action. Explanation. Deleting the device from Intune removes it from management. If it reconnects, Intune will wipe only corporate data and apps. Question 20. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You need to review the startup times and restart frequencies of the devices. What should you use? A. Azure Monitor. B. Intune Data Warehouse. C. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. D. Endpoint analytics. Correct answer D. Endpoint analytics. Explanation. Endpoint analytics provides insights into device startup performance. It tracks boot times and restart patterns for managed devices. Question 21. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 10 Android enterprise devices. Each device has a corporate-owned work profile and is enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to configure the devices to run a single app in kiosk mode. Which configuration settings should you modify in the device restrictions profile? A. Users and accounts. B. General. C. System security. D. Device experience. Correct answer D. Device experience. Explanation. The device experience section controls kiosk mode settings. This allows locking the device to a single app for corporate use. Question 22. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 500 macOS devices enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to ensure that you can apply Microsoft Defender for endpoint antivirus policies to the macOS devices. The solution must minimize administrative effort. What should you do? A. Onboard the macOS devices to the Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. B. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a security baseline. C. Install Defender for Endpoint on the macOS devices. D. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a configuration profile. Correct answer D. From the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a configuration profile. Explanation. A configuration profile in Intune lets you apply Defender settings to macOS devices. This streamlines policy deployment without manual setup on each device. Question 23. You have an Azure AD group named Group 1. Group 1 contains two Windows 10 enterprise devices named Device 1 and Device 2. You create a device configuration profile named Profile 1. You assign Profile 1 to Group 1. You need to ensure that Profile 1 applies to Device 1 only. What should you modify in Profile 1? A. Assignments. B. Settings. C. Scope tags. D. Applicability rules. Correct answer A. Assignments. Explanation. Assignments control which devices or groups receive the profile. Changing the assignment to only Device 1 ensures targeted application. Question 24. You have 100 computers that run Windows 10 and connect to an Azure Log Analytics workspace. Which three types of data can you collect from the computers by using Log Analytics? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. A. Failure events from the security log. B. The list of processes and their execution times. C. The average processor utilization. D. Error events from the system log. E. Third-party application logs stored as text files. Correct answer C, D, and E. The average processor utilization. Error events from the system log. Third-party application logs stored as text files. Explanation. Log Analytics collects performance metrics like CPU usage, system errors, and text-based app logs. This enables detailed monitoring and troubleshooting of devices. Question 25. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription. The subscription contains 25 computers that run Windows 11 and are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to onboard the devices to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. What should you create in the Microsoft Intune Admin Center? A. An attack surface reduction ASR policy. B. A security baseline. C. An endpoint detection and response EDR policy. D. An account protection policy. E. An antivirus policy. Correct answer C. An endpoint detection and response EDR policy. Explanation. An EDR policy enables Defender for Endpoint onboarding in Intune. This connects devices for advanced security monitoring and response. Question 26. Your company uses Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You need to ensure that only Android devices that use Android work profiles can enroll in Intune. Which two configurations should you perform in the device enrollment restrictions? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. A. From Platform Settings, set Android Device Administrator Personally Owned to Block. B. From Platform Settings, set Android Enterprise Work Profile to Allow. C. From Platform Settings, set Android Device Administrator Personally Owned to Allow. D. From Platform Settings, set Android Device Administrator to Block. Correct answer, B and D. From Platform Settings, set Android Enterprise Work Profile to Allow. From Platform Settings, set Android Device Administrator to Block. Explanation. Allowing Android Enterprise Work Profiles and blocking Device Administrator enrollment enforces policy. This ensures only secure work profile devices can enroll. Question 27. You use Microsoft Intune and Intune Data Warehouse. You need to create a device inventory report that includes the data stored in the data warehouse. What should you use to create the report? A. The company portal app. B. Endpoint Analytics. C. The Azure Portal app. D. Microsoft Power BI. Correct answer D. Microsoft Power BI. Explanation. Power BI can directly connect to Intune Data Warehouse datasets. This enables rich visualization and analysis of device inventory data. Question 28. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription and 25 Apple iPads. You need to enroll the iPads in Microsoft Intune by using the Apple Configurator enrollment method. What should you do first? A. Configure an Apple MDM push certificate. B. Add your user account as a Device Enrollment Manager (DM). C. Modify the enrollment restrictions. D. Upload a file that has the device identifiers for each iPad. Correct answer A. Configure an Apple MDM push certificate. Explanation. An Apple MDM push certificate is required for Intune to manage Apple devices. This certificate allows secure communication between Intune and Apple services. Question 29. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 150 hybrid Azure AD joined Windows devices. All the devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to configure delivery optimization on the devices to meet the following requirements. Allow downloads from the Internet and from other computers on the local network. Limit the percentage of used bandwidth to 50. What should you use? A. A configuration profile. B. A Windows update for business group policy setting. C. A Microsoft peer-to-peer networking services group policy setting. D. An update ring for Windows 10 and later profile. Correct answer A. A configuration profile. Explanation. A configuration profile in Intune can set delivery optimization bandwidth limits. It also enables peer-to-peer sharing alongside Internet downloads. Question 30. Your network contains an Active Directory domain. The domain contains a user named admin1. All computers run Windows 10. You enable Windows PowerShell remoting on the computers. You need to ensure that admin1 can establish remote PowerShell connections to the computers. The solution must use the principle of least privilege. To which group should you add admin1? A. Access Control Assistance Operators. B. Remote Desktop Users. C. Power Users. D. Remote Management Users. Correct answer D. Remote Management Users. Explanation. The Remote Management Users Group grants the minimum rights for remote PowerShell. This follows the principle of least privilege while allowing remoting. Please revise full PDF 2 to 3 times for 100% success. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.